Welcome, everyone, to the Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework Biweekly Sync. It is August 8th, 2024, and I'm your host, Boo Cameron. All my slides are working. There we go. All right, we got a great agenda today, as always. We'll talk about the latest updates from SharePoint Framework, all of the community updates across the stack. Then we'll have picture time, which is everyone's favorite time. We have three really cool demos today. So Mohammed's going to show us how to improve SharePoint search using custom Copilots. Ejaz is going to demo off using App Insights to see document usage across your users. And then Hugo is returning with his semi-anticipated series of using Azure OpenAI assistance with SPFx, part 2. If you haven't had a chance to get involved yet, or this is your first time attending these calls, we have a lot of great resources available to you to check out. All of these calls and our demos are hosted on our YouTube community channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like all of our videos. That helps us with engagement. We also have a LinkedIn community for all you business folks out there. And then we have a plethora of open source repositories where you can get access to our tools, SDKs, samples, demos. And then we also have a samples gallery, which we will show off on this call, but where you can get access to other things people in the community are building and have shared with others. All of these you can find at aka.ms/community/home, which is our website. And if you're more of a kind of visual learner, we have a new Microsoft Community Learning channel where you can get access to updates from Microsoft, demos, tutorials, lots of great assets here. So check that out at aka.ms/community/YouTube. All right, this call and many of our other calls happen every week. So this happens bi-weekly, but we also have calls for Power Platform, Add-in Dev, Viva Connections, and more. You can get access to all the ICS files at aka.ms/community/calls. All right. And if you're interested in presenting, if you've done something cool, you've built a sample, a web part, we would love for you to present. Everyone is welcome. So you can submit a request at aka.ms/community/request/demo, and then we will get you scheduled to present on a future call. David, I think this slide is you.
It is. Thank you, Mr. Bo Cameron. So, friends, we have our Sharing is Caring session scheduled, and we are excited to have it. It is coming up a couple weeks from now, August 19th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So what is Sharing is Caring? It's a program that provides all of you hands-on guidance in various initiatives like submitting to our great and wonderful community using the samples, GitHub, and a variety of other topics. So this one coming up is the samples contributor session. It's going to talk you and walk you through how to submit via GitHub, that hub of Gits, that hit of Gubs. What did I say? Hit of Gubs? I'm just making words up. But we're going to work through it together, and we're going to invent new words too. So it's a safe space opportunity. You don't have to worry about getting recorded, asking questions. You might be like, should I know the answer to this question? I'm in front of everybody. Don't worry. We're all learning together. We've all started at one point or another. So we're going to walk you through how to contribute and submit a pull request to our live samples region and repo. I'm just making them up again. And it's a contribution in and of itself. So you get a badge for it. So that's awesome. So definitely get involved at aka.ms/sharingiscaring. Now, once you do, we want to recognize you with our community recognition program. And we got some new badges that are coming out soon. We're all excited about things like Copilot and prompting and all that good stuff. And so if you hit forward there, Bo, one more time. Should be on a timer for you. There we go. Excellent. Thank you. We've, of course, got our 2024 badges that have went out, but we've got more coming out. Our Prompt Pros. If you hit it one more time, should have just been automatic timer. There we go. Working with April Dunham on some new badges. The Promptember is coming up next month. Promptober is coming up. Oh my goodness. And Prompt Pro. So get involved, get signed up, get opted in, aka.ms/community/recognition. It is 100% free. We cover all the costs, and these are officially accredited badges from Credly. So, Bo, back to you.
Awesome, David. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is actually my first time using PowerPoint, so bear with me here. All right, so now we have some updates from SharePoint Framework. This is going to be led by Vesa.
Excellent. You're doing a great job, Bo, on moving on forward on slides. So good job. Now, cool. Quick update on SPFx side. So 1.19 is still the latest GA version of it. We're looking at getting actually 1.20 out within upcoming weeks. I will have a slide coming up on next where we're going to actually show some of the features which are coming up. But basically, it's just a list on things. There's going to be new chart card types for Viva Connection, and also bring your own quick view for ACEs. So you're not limited anymore on adaptive cards. And then we're doing additional other updates. So 120 more on Viva Connection still. We're looking into doing other areas improvements in the future. Now on the semester focus area, let's go back one more slide, back on the previous one. Card web part for SharePoint. This is really, really cool. We're working on getting the ACEs also exposed in SharePoint without the Viva Connection dependency. So that's something what is being built on. Also SharePoint powered SP hosted apps. So replacement for SharePoint hosted apps is coming up, and also SharePoint framework and Copilot integration scenarios. So a lot of investments in these areas as well. Now, if we go to the following slide, there's just a teaser quick pictures on the data visualization component. So we used to have a chart card only. Now we're getting pie, donut, and bars, which is great. And then bring your own quick view means that you're not limited on what's in adaptive cards. You can actually render whatever HTML within your ACE quick view to make it more dynamic for mobile, tablets, and for desktop. But that's a quick review of what's coming up in 120. We'll do more on the demos and videos and all of that within upcoming weeks.
Awesome. Thank you, Vesa. I'm really pumped about those ACE updates. Going to be really cool to see that out there. Now we got updates from our open source community and projects. Up first is myself. So we have a brand new library repository for Copilot prompts. If you're working with AI and you want to get the most out of the tools, or you need some help with prompt engineering, we do have a community repository where we can stash all of these really cool prompts that you want to use. You can find it at aka.ms/pnp-prompt-library. And we have to praise a prompt of the week. This is for Jaime Lopez. He created a prompt that was generate a comprehensive list of potential features, functionalities, and initiatives for a company intranet. Consider a wide range of user needs, from communication and collaboration to knowledge management and employee engagement, focused on innovative ideas that can enhance productivity, streamline workflows, and foster a strong company culture. Super comprehensive, very, very cool prompt. If anyone else has any prompts that you use on your day today, definitely submit them to our aka.ms/pnp prompt library. Up next, Julie.
Yeah, so we have a Learning Pathways update. We did a version 5 release into beta several weeks ago now. It's open in beta. You can download it, test it out, give us feedback, let us know if everything's working great. It'll be a couple more weeks, and then we will. We have only had a small amount of feedback, so I think things are generally working pretty well for everyone. So we will get that into full release shortly. Essentially, it's a technical update for SharePoint Framework and PnP.js, a UI update. We switched from the Office Fabric React to H2O for full accessibility updates. And then we added some new features. There's a search box visibility toggle, so you can keep the search box up all the time. And added a custom analytics webhook feature so that you can get notifications from the web part when people view assets. A couple other bug fixes as well. And so again, check that beta out, give us feedback if you have any issues, and that should be another week or so, probably towards the end of August, that will come out of beta and be full GA. If you want to move forward, Bo, you could do PMPJS. I'm
it's all
fine with
you.
it.
It's all you.
You
Julie.
sure?
Yep,
Oh.
it's all you.
All right. Version 4.4.0 will be released August 12th. That was, as of the time I updated this slide, documentation and package version updates only, but Bo has been a busy beaver and has done a couple other bug fixes since last night. So those will be included in that as well. We're winding down version 3 support. In general, we haven't had a lot of that. We are going to do final sort of patch release 3.26 on August 12th as well, to add that same alias parameter update that we did for version 4 into version 3 for those who are having to drag their feet to do the upgrade to version 4. I want to just full disclosure, there's really no reason that you shouldn't be able to go from version 3 to version 4. It is a major change, and there are a few small deprecations, but in general, it should be pretty straightforward. So check out those upgrade docs and try to get to version 4. And don't forget, anything that we've merged in will be in those v4 nightly builds. So if you want to test a PR that was merged in, go ahead and test that out with the v4 nightly build, and then give us feedback before an official release date, and anything you find could be fixed before the release. And that is all I have, Bo. Back to you.
Awesome, Julie, thanks. And for anyone who cares, those 2 updates that I did yesterday were an update to our types for sharing links with graph files. We had an issue where you couldn't request the drive item off of sharing links, and then made an update to taxonomy where there's globally shared taxonomy on terms, which you weren't able to pull from the packages. So we've updated the get children as ordered tree method to select properties as well. All right, up next, CLI for Microsoft 365.
Yes, thanks, Bo. So yeah, hot on the heels of the PMPJS new release. We have a new release, major release of CLI for Microsoft 365. So this is version 8. So be aware there are some breaking changes. We tend to do this around this time of the year. We have guidance available for you. We keep these changes down to a minimum where we can find it. There's only 2 changes you really need to be aware of. So if you're using CLI for Microsoft 365 to list flows, I know that's a popular command. There's been some API changes that we've had to amend the output of our command. So if you've got scripts that are using them, just beware that the output will change. So you'll have to change your scripts to adapt to that. And also as well, if you're using the SPO group member add command, similar thing again, API kind of changes. So we've made these so that they're more reliable, but that has a knock-on effect to your scripts. So just make sure that you're testing them before you move to V8, but you can get that from NPM today. Just use the @latest tag. If you do have any issues, best place to let us know is either in the issues list or ask questions about it in our Discord. So you can get to our Discord server. Our invite link is aka.ms/CLI-M365/Discord. Next slide, please, Bo. So dev proxy, we are still at 0.19.1. We've not had any releases. We'll probably have another release in probably the next month. But if you don't know what dev proxy is a command line tool for simulating APIs. So if you want to force errors like 429s, throttling to test your code, you want to mock your API responses, or even use dev proxy to stand up a whole API for you without actually needing to write code, then if that's interesting to you, check it out, aka.ms/devproxy. We've got tons of features in here around checking permissions that you're using in your applications when you're calling graph. We've got lots of things in there for OpenAI as well. So yeah, if you're doing anything with APIs, check out devproxy. And Bo, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary. All right, we got reusable SPFx controls. I believe Alex is on the call.
Yep. Thank you, Bo. So if somebody is not familiar, reusable SPFx controls are needed if you are working with the SharePoint Framework, web parts, or ACEs, adaptive cart extensions. So React controls could be used in web parts, and React property controls could be used in property panes for both web parts and adaptive cart extensions. Currently, we are on 3.18.1 and 3.17.1 for those libraries. One small remark here, there were issues with the support for SPFx 1.19.0 because of the Webpack bump from 4 to 5. So currently the beta version for both libraries supports 1.19.0, and we are going to release new version probably next week. So stay tuned about that. And as always, thank you for all the contributors to the repos, and that's why we have these beautiful controls and these cool libraries. Thank you. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Gosh. All right. There we go. The scrolly on the mouse changes the slides. All right. SharePoint Framework Toolkit. Adam, I believe you're here.
Yeah, unfortunately I am. So new week, new release, this time a pre-release. This project is moving really fast, and we have two improvements in the account and tenant views. One was done by a brand new contributor, Guido Zambarda. Thanks a lot. And this will be part of an upcoming new minor release. We are still waiting for 2 PRs to be fixed up and merged. Those will be improving our sample gallery and getting more guidance when you are scaffolding new projects. So really awesome when you are starting your journey with SPFx and learning. What Guido added in this pre-release, you can already test out, are new settings that allow you to amend your view and, for example, hide the health incidents in your tenant. Maybe you're not interested in them, or hide the tenant-wide extensions list if you're not also interested in this either. And we are currently working and prepping on our AI agent, so the SPFx GitHub Copilot participant, to make it more smart and be not only your partner that answers questions, but also will give you some actions that you can directly start from the chat. But this is still upcoming and work in progress. We hope to deliver it as soon as possible. And be sure to give it a try if you're doing any kind of SPFx development. And happy coding, everybody. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Next, we have PNP Modern Search with Mr. Search himself, Casper.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we're still in that part of the year, basically from April to October, where half of Europe is on vacation. So it's been kind of slow going, but we have a number of updates to not to the mother project, but to the sort of like assigned project, where we have all of the layouts where people can contribute new layouts that they have created. And these three have popped up within the last 2 weeks. And we are merging some of them back into the project itself, so they will be available in the PNP Modern Search web parts when we have a release, perhaps 7 months from now, something like that. So yeah, we are still moving along. And if you have any requests, please put them in the repository, and we'll have a look at them as soon as possible. Back to you, Bo.
Fantastic. Thank you, Casper. And next up, we have PNP SPFx samples with Hugo.
Hey, so we have SPFx samples in various repositories. You can get to them by going to aka.ms/SPFx-webparts. And these are the latest updates. We have a cool extension that we will be seeing on demo today, so I don't want to steal Ejaz's thunder, but it's a field reporting extension, which basically monitors user activity in SharePoint and then gives you a field customizer that allows you to log those details. We'll see that on a demo. I will be processing that pull request today, so we should see it in the repo tomorrow. But that's it for me. Back to you.
How about SPFx Aces? Is that Anoop? Is Anoop here?
Yes, yeah, thanks, Bo. So, ACES, unfortunately, we do not have any new samples this week, but just to give you some information about ACES. So ACES adaptive card extensions are part of Viva Connections. They enable users to view information quickly at a glance or interact with them via cards. As you can see, some of the samples which are shown there on the slide. Now, Microsoft provides some ACES out of the box, and we can create our own ACES. One place to find such ACES is the PNP SPFx ACES repository, aka.ms/SPFx-ACES. So please visit that repository and submit some pull requests. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anoop. All right, it's everyone's favorite time. Optional picture time. Get those. There we go. Get those cameras ready.
Yes, if you would like to turn those cameras on, and we will get everybody up here. Let's see, looking good. Got some fantastic faces already. There's still some more room, everybody. Those rows magically grow. So feel free to turn that camera on. I see everybody practicing and waving. Excellent. I got this guy next to me. Woo, love sitting next to Bo, the cool cat. Don's down below me. Alex, Vessas. Oh my goodness, all my favorite people are here. Okay, still a little bit more room, everybody, if you'd like to turn. I see Chris showed up. Excellent. Very good. Okay. All right. Let's give this a shot. There we go. Wave, everybody. Woo! All right. Looking great. Love to see all those smiling faces. We appreciate every one of you for showing up today. Awesome. All right. Bo, you want to take on back over?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. It's time for demos. First up, we are going to have Mohammed enhancing your SharePoint search with custom Copilots.
Yeah, thank you, Bo. Let me know if you see my screen.
We can see your screen.
Great. One moment. So, hello, everyone. I'm Mohammed. I'm excited to be a demo presenter for the third time in the community call. And about today's topic, enhance your SharePoint search journey with a custom Copilot in SharePoint site search page. Very long title, but to make it simple, let's start integrating a custom Copilot in the SharePoint site search page. So before I start, a little bit about myself. I'm Mohammed. I work as a Microsoft 365 and SharePoint developer. Also, I'm tech lead at Atea Global Services. I'm passionate about contributing to the community and crafting solutions for teams and SharePoint online. You can connect with me on social platforms that are mentioned in the slide. Check out my GitHub repo samples and my blog website. The agenda for today is about an introduction, then how things are working, then the fun part, demo, after that exploring the code, and then sharing project links. Many of us utilized the SharePoint search, but based on my observations, it seemed that several SharePoint end users, particularly those who aren't developers, struggle a bit to effectively use SharePoint search to locate the desired content within SharePoint. This is what leads me to think about combining the power of SharePoint search with Copilot in the SharePoint search through a SPFx extension that would be a host for a custom Copilot that has a knowledge source like SharePoint site content. And the question now is, have you ever thought about integrating a custom Copilot in the SharePoint site search page, or maybe in any SharePoint page? If no, then in this demo, we will delve into the benefits of and how to integrate a custom Copilot into the SharePoint site search page. And this will be through the SharePoint Framework, SPFx, aiming to enhance your SharePoint search experience. And before I proceed, it is important to note that there are some prerequisites for this project. And these prerequisites are in different levels. First, Copilot Studio. Regarding Copilot Studio, we have to build a custom Copilot in Copilot Studio, and I won't delve into the details of creating a custom Copilot with Copilot Studio, as our awesome colleague Paulo has already provided a comprehensive guide on one of the community calls. Second level is Azure. 2 Azure app registrations are necessary. First one, to set up the Microsoft Entra ID authentication for your custom Copilot. The second one, to manage and handle the SSO experience effectively within the SharePoint. Third level is SharePoint. Of course, we should build the SPFx extension component for hosting the Copilot. In SharePoint also, there should be a SharePoint list configuration list for managing our extension variables. I'll show it to you later in the next slides. And the focal point of our talk today is going to be about the SPFx extension component. This is how the Copilot button will look like into your SharePoint search page. And once you click on this button, you will have a panel like that for asking the Copilot questions and getting answers. How things are working. Many of us have developed custom Copilots using Copilot Studio. Yet integrating these custom Copilots into SharePoint hasn't been widely adopted. It's clear that there is a strong interest in the roadmap feature that we are all waiting for, which is building your custom Copilot in SharePoint. For those eager to explore similar capabilities sooner, today's sample project can serve as a temporary solution until the official feature is available in SharePoint for all users. But how it works? First, we should build, as I mentioned, we should build the custom Copilot that will be capable of answering questions by direct it to the SharePoint site as a knowledge source. Then generative answers feature will simplify the process of creating conversational interface for end users. Then the end users will interact with SPFx component, hosting the SPFx component that will host the custom Copilot in SharePoint page. Then through the Azure app registrations, we will be able to acquire and exchange the token with Copilot, allowing the Copilot to access SharePoint data. Then asking questions and getting related answers from Copilot will leverage the power of generative AI in Copilot Studio. Like I said, the SharePoint configuration list is required also to supply the SPFx component with all necessary configuration. These are the required column in our SharePoint configuration list that the component will rely on. providing the bot URL, which is the token endpoint in Microsoft Copilot Studio. You can find it by going to the Copilot Studio Designer settings channel, then the mobile app icon. There is a link for that. Then custom scope. The custom scope is it will be the scope defined for the custom API in the Copilot app registration that we talked about in the Azure registration prerequisites. The client ID is the Azure app registration that we should create for handling the SSO. Then the authority, the login URL for your tenant, as you know, your tenant on Microsoft.com. Greet will be true false column to greet the users at the beginning of the Copilot conversation. Then bot name and the panel title. Then let's jump into the fun part, which is the demo. Well, I'm running my SPFx extension in the background, so it is up and running, hopefully. And the SPFx extension component will render this button, and by clicking on this button, it will open the panel, and the Copilot is saying, hey, how can I help you? And I prepared a few questions, but before asking question to our Copilot, imagine a scenario where you are in the SharePoint site search page and you are searching for something and you got some results. But if you would like to deep dive with a conversation with Copilot to ask the Copilot question and getting answers without opening even these links, you can do that. So let's ask it a question like that. And I will not give up on that, and I will ask again. And it gives me an answer, showing me 3 links. And these links, most likely it's SharePoint pages or SharePoint articles about the SharePoint roadmap. And what if we ask another question like that? So it gives me the main features of SharePoint roadmap, including the SharePoint framework and some stuff like what are the latest SharePoint roadmap features. Then let's jump into the code. So the code here, let's start with the XML template for creating the configuration list. It's here in the template folder. It's a simple XML template. You can use PNP partial to create your list. Very simple list with some columns as we explained. And let's say that our SPFx extension have 2 main parts, components and some few handlers to handle the functionality. There are 3 main components. First component is a button that we saw, but behind the button there is another component, which is a panel. And in the panel, there is another component, which is the Copilot form. So these are the main 3 components. But probably you are asking question like, how are we rendering this component that will render panel, that will render form? It's here from the starting point of our SPFx extension. We are initializing the PNB.js handler in order to get the configuration list from SharePoint, and using few handlers like SharePoint page handler, mutation handler, DOM handler. We are continuing with the functionality, and one of the important things here is the SharePoint page handler that contains a function to render the main component, which is the Copilot button. By checking for the main element that has specific ID, and if we have this element, then we return we return promise.resolve. But if we don't have this component or element with this specific ID, then we are checking for specific node to render our button that will call the Copilot. Of course, there is also the MSL wrapper handler to handle the authentication and single sign-on. And yeah, these are the main functions in the SPFx component. Then these are the links for the code sample and my blog article about my sample. So feel free to review the sample code in GitHub, and I would love to hear from you about any potential updates or enhancements you identify. Thank you. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome, fantastic, really cool demo there. AI is in, as they say.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Ejaz. Ready when you are.
Right. Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone. Let me share my screen, and then we can start from there. Just give me a shout, guys, if you can see my screen.
Yep, looks good.
All good.
Cool. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ejaz Hussain. I am recently awarded MVP. This is my first year in this program. So really happy to be here. I'm also developer and architect for a company called Advania UK. And here are my social media's handler. Please get in touch if you have any question or you want to talk about anything about M365 platform or Copilot or AI. So today we're looking into a SPFx base app, which is going to track a user activity when they go and open up the documents. So where do I get this idea? So recently I was working for one of my clients, and they wanted to track who has opened this. They had like really important thing was going on, so they wanted to basically have some sort of things logged in, logged somewhere, like who has opened this and read these documents within that short period of time. And then what we come up with, okay, I said we can basically go and use the field customizer, where we can use the SharePoint field customizer to solve this problem. So that's what we're going to look into today. So if I go to the next one, so it's a React-based SPFx application. We're using field customizer to log the documents open event directly into application insights using field customizer. We also have part of this demo a SPFx web part, which will display a real-time user activity data. So as the people are opening the document, reading it, the information is being logged in the app inside, and then on the other side, there's SPFx file part which reading the data from the app inside. So you having a real-time kind of a matrix, what's going on, how many people have opened this one, who has opened this one. So that's probably for the more admin to access this. Then you can have present your data into more more in charting, more visualized for the audience. Now, if you look into the architecture of this solution, so if first of all user go into once our field customizer solution has been installed, the user will go and click on into the out-of-the-box document library. They click on a document. They don't see any difference whether they're clicking on a document with our custom field or they are out-of-the-box field. They won't realize what's going on. So the UI look exactly the same. We'll look into in demo in a minute. So they will simply go in there. They have access to document library or folder. They click on it, open the document. They review the important policies or whatever, and they don't know the information is being logged against the user. So they have opened the document from the document library. We capturing this information on every time user click on the document, their name, email, access list URL, etc. So we know basically who has access at what time and which list or document ID and URL, etc. And that information then is being logged under the app inside. You can also use reporting list as well, SharePoint list as well, but if it's a large number of users in your organization, I probably suggest to go towards the app inside side of the thing. Then we have another page, reporting page, which will only be accessible by admins. And this is where our reporting web part will be in there. So the admin don't need to go into app insight or etc. They just need to log into this page and see what's going on and what's the activity look like. And they can also, you can provide some filters and stuff based on the users for the logging purposes. Right, so that's how it is working. So if you go to the next one, before we go into the demo, just to remind, the field customizer configuration needed for this one is like you, and the way I build demo, I used existing column because most time you already have the document library in place and you want to use the existing column. So for example, you have a column extended document name in the document library. You can rename to make it look like out of the box. Then second step is first step is you add your custom column. Second step is you hide the out of the box name column for the document library. And the third step is when user click on your custom column, information will get logged into the app inside. So so that's the thing we have to do from the list configuration point of view. And if you go to the next one, now one more step is with a field customizer, you need to hook up your custom field customizer SPFx solution with the column itself. And how do you do that? So if I go, you take the ID of from the manifest.json and use this command set PNP field PowerShell command. It has a client-side component ID. So run this command and use the column custom column name here, and this will map your custom field customizer to your existing column. So you have to run this command and make sure your the solution has been deployed and is ready to go in your tenant. Then you should have this solution working. So now let's look into the demo. What's that look like in practice? So move it across. So I have this column called extended document name. Now this is the out of the box name column. So I kept it here just so I can see what is the out of the box UI look like and what is my look like. So you can see if I hide this column, I rename to call it name, the user wouldn't know whether this is the out of the box column or my field customizer. So they will have the same experience. So if I go and user simply go into that document library or folder where they have access to it, so they can click on this document. So they open as usual they do, and open the all of the let's say Excels. So same experience they will get. And then what's happening behind the scene? We are logging this information in App Insight. Now, let me show you what's going on in the App Insight. So let me just move this guy this side. So App Insight is this information is logged where I've just run this command for you. So give me the custom event where my custom event name is document accessed, and I won't give me the data from the last 30 days. So in here, I've got things like, because I filtered with the document access to the custom event name. So you can see here that this information is being logged. Let me run it again. And then you get this experience. So you expand this one, and then you look for custom dimension. And this is where your custom event is being logged. Now, this information I'm passing, so I'm which document, document ID, document name, and who last access and last access, who this document has been last access. So this information is being logged against each document. Then you can see in here out of the box some visual. You can use some different pie chart or other charts types, so you can see visual as well. So that's exactly we are replicating in the SPFx web part. So user does not need to come here with admins to see this. And one thing noticed, because the App Insight is free, I think for the keep the data for 90 days. If you're looking for something data for the longer period, then you might consider Azure SQL or stream analysis services by Azure. So you can have that data for a longer period of time and hook up your Power BI as well if you need to. So yeah, for the out of the box App Insights, you will have data available for the 90 days. Now, once we got the data, now we can go back to our from the admin page where the admin will have access to document monitoring. So if I refresh this, now I can see this document. This is all of the in last access I modified all the document which and who has accessing this. So accessed by me, ID list item, ID list URL. So depend on what kind of matrix you want to capture. This just for the example. So you can bring back whatever document kind of results you want from the App Insight from there on, and then you can build some filters for the filtering results. And then if I go to the charts, you can build some some charts from the visualization purposes as well. So for the admins, they can clearly see what's going on with there and who has access, who hasn't accessed the documents yet. So so that's what it looks like from the UI. And then let's go into quickly jump into the code. What's the code look like? So there's a if I start from here, so there's in the solution, there's two things. One is the extension, document reporting. One is a web part. So look into the extension first. What happening is we got the instrumentation key, which we need to get it from the App Insight, and I'm initializing the App Insight service. That's just nothing else. This just initializing, initialization of the App Insight, and then in the bottom, in here, we're capturing different metadata related to user who's logged in and the document ID, name, etc. So if I go to the document reporting component, you could see here, I'm just calling this event, calling application service.track event. This is the name of my custom event, and this is the payload I want to save into the App Insight. So that's exactly what is happening here. And if I go then to web part is I have a couple of properties, which is instrumentation key I needed for my App Insight, API key and API secret. While we can also access that, depends how you want to do that, because for the easiness of the demo, I've just used the API key and the secret, which you can create easily using this. If you go to under App Insight, configure API access, click create API key, you will be able to create API key and the secret. So I use that. You can also use Azure AD as well. So so I'm passing this to my web pod, and then in the web pod, I'm accessing this data from the service. If I go show you the service, and then this is playing in the chart format. So if I go to the service, that is just this get log data, and this is the same query I passed to my I'm passing to the AppNSI, which I run in from the UI, and this is doing some mapping, and that's for how I'm getting this result back. So yeah, that's all from my side. If you have any question, please feel free to get in touch.
Awesome, fantastic, super awesome demo. Thank you. We got 10 minutes left. Hugo, can you make it in 10 minutes, or would you like to be bumped until a future call?
Why don't I do just a demo of the web part, a preview of the web part, and then maybe on the next call, or the next call we're available, I'll just walk through the code. Does that work with everybody?
Works for me.
Woo! All right. Woohoo! Okay. Let me share my screen. Whoever's whispering there, or is that the voices talking to me? All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah, they look good. Yep. Let me just mute the whisper.
All right, so last time I demoed this web part that is built in SPFx, and that is using the Azure OpenAI Assistance API, which is different from the completions and chat completions API. It's a newer version of the API, which I believe is still, the claim is still in preview. But what it does is it allows you to talk to an assistant. So let's say we say, tell me about the planets in the solar system. And if the demo gods are with me, hopefully my demo didn't go to sleep. It did. All right, let me wake it up again.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. Well, I might not be able to do.
Do a dance. Do a dance, quick.
All right. Let's see. Come on, we can do this. Oh yeah, sorry, it was responding. It was just taking forever. So it's able to have a interactive conversation with the assistant. The one thing I didn't demo last time is you might notice there's a few icons here on the bottom. And the first one is the microphone. So, hey, can you tell me about the dwarf planets? As you can see, I'm able to talk to it natively, and even with my French Canadian accent, it's able to understand. But wait, if you order now, you can also get it to talk back to you. So if I just enable this here, and hopefully you'll be able to hear this. Well, I guess I could have talked to it. Tell me more about Pluto. Let's see what happens.
Oh, the drama, intrigue, and existential crises. What more could one ask from the story of Pluto? It's not just a distant icy ball, it's a celestial soap opera. All
right, I turned off the audio here, but that's a good example of how we can get voice integration into our assistant. And that was just a preview. On the next time I'm demoing, I will actually share you the code, but also show you how it can use interactive functions that allows the assistant behind the scenes to integrate back with my client and to be able to turn on, turn off settings and make changes and send events back. Again, that's it for me for today. We'll catch up with you next time. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome, fantastic. Look forward to that demo next time. Just give it another round of applause to all of our presenters, please. There were some really great demos today. We appreciate your contributions to our community. Yes. All right. As we wrap up, if you have anything good or bad to say, please let us know about these calls. Give us feedback. It's the only way we can improve. So go to aka.ms/community/calls/feedback and let us know how we're doing. Also, just a reminder, we do have a Discord server. It's a great place to do real-time chats, ask questions, learn about what's coming from the community directly. We have somewhere over 2,000 members or around there. So please join the fun, and you can find a link at aka.ms/community/discord. All right, and then thank you everyone for joining this call. This recording will be available in 24 hours on our YouTube channel. Make sure to check us out on X, and then our next Viva Connections call is August 22nd at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Woo!
Bye-bye.
Great job. Bye-bye.